Society would like to thank everybody and welcome you here tonight for the last of this season's author series. And boy, we got a sold out crowd here tonight. We got some great books here tonight. Great season, great weather. So I want to thank you all for coming. And without further ado, this would not have taken place without the local legendary lore of Chris O'Berti over here. So give him a big hand.
My name is Chris Obert. I own Pear Publishing, which is a small publishing company in Haverhill. But I also run the New England Authors Expo, which is a grassroots event, literary event that is, I think it's the largest in New England, with all of us authors working together to promote each other's books. Buttonwoods Museum has been very nice to let us use their hall to have some of our events here. And I also want to thank Kentucky Bank for being the sponsor for the series this entire year. Without their money, this probably wouldn't have happened. And I want to thank all of the authors that are here tonight and all the authors that have come all year long. We've had 12 events this year, all different genres, romance novels, graphic novels, U.S. history. Tonight is going to be horror and paranormal, if you can't guess. And each author is going to be given a little bit of time to speak, and then we're going to move from author to author, and then we'll take a short break, like I said before, and we'll do a question and answer section at the end. There's pastry in front, and all of the books are going to be available for sales at the end of the evening, so you don't have to worry. And also there's some cards out front that just have safety tips for your kids for trick-or-treating. They're up front, and there's free pencils and erasers and stuff. So this should be a fun night. And the first author that we're going to have is Rob, right? So, I'm on that. He's going to put the mic on.
I got a mic.
Yeah.
Y'all can't hear me? The cold night wind tossed Abigail's hair, ruffling her sleeve as she hung her thumb out in the approaching headlights. An observer might have heard her repeating a two-word mantra under her breath. It was a different mantra than she'd used on the last car, but her focus had been different then. Then she had muttered, "No cops, no cops," until the approaching headlights had become dwindling taillights, leaving her eyes blinking against the swirling dust. 2 hours trudging in the breakdown lane with nothing for company but darkness and the biting cold had given her a completely different attitude. Please stop, please stop, please stop. Even if they're cops, she thought, at least they'll give me a ride somewhere. The lights came closer, the engine's hum reaching over the constant rustle of leaves and branches. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. The headlights drew abreast of her, illuminating the surrounding night, and drove past. Shit! She dropped her onto her side, burying her now freezing thumb deep in her pocket, searching for warmth. The road in front of her suddenly flared with red light, as did the trees across the road, her own shadow a dark stain on the now crimson macadam. She spun about. The big car sat about 20 feet away, engine rumbling, brake lights brilliant in the moonlight. As she watched, the passenger side door swung open in invitation. With a celebratory whoop, Abby dashed to the car before the driver could change his mind. She slid onto the seat and had barely reached to close the door when, with a roar, the car shot off down the road. As alarming as that was, Abby still took a moment to revel in the hot air blasting out of the heating vents. Her hands were already thrust toward the dash, fingers extended to take full advantage of the airflow before she smelled it. Rancid. Foul. Hanging in the air so thick she could actually taste it. Musty, old body odor. Cigarette smoke, both fresh and stale. Someone had apparently been unable to wait for the water to boil and had simply set fire to the coffee beans. Hovering beneath it all was the dank, moist funk of mold and rot, as if the inside of the car had spoiled like a Halloween pumpkin at Thanksgiving. In Florida. She fought the urge to gag as her unsuitably used air invaded her mouth and nose, the powerful heat thawing numbed taste buds and nasal passages, allowing, bless you, to allow the full force of the miasma to wash over her like a sickening tide. Someone get that man a hanky. Oh my God, she whispered, immediately regretful. Speaking created the need to take another breath, and she wasn't certain that her stomach was ready. Beg pardon? The voice was deep, male, and lightly, indefinably accented. Abby instinctively turned toward it, only to catch a face full of the world's worst halitosis. Eyes watering, she saw a tall, cadaverous man gripping the steering wheel with hands that appeared to be sticks with knuckles. His black suit and white shirt struck her as strangely spotless, considering the overwhelming stench of the car. She took a shallow breath, sipping the grotesque atmosphere rather than gulping, and managed another whisper. May I open the window? Beg pardon? He leaned his gaunt face closer, turning one long ear toward her to hear. Are you all right? Though the voice was concerned, his face remained an expressionless mask. And though he just expelled a cloud of tooth-rotting breath in her direction, Abby noticed another smell getting stronger as he leaned in. The funk of rot. Maybe that suit is nice and clean, she thought, but there's something seriously wrong with the body inside it. The window, she said, risking another lungful of filth for the chance for some cleaner air. May I put it down? I'm afraid that window does not work, he said. Though by his tone, he didn't seem particularly apologetic about it. She began. How old are you, child? He said. 14. I'm older than I look, she said. Please, do you think you could put your... So you're 15? 16 at most? You really shouldn't be hitchhiking, you know. You never know who might be picking you up. Sir, Abby said, uncomfortable with the direction the conversation had taken. Thank you for the ride and all, but I'm pretty hungry. So do you think we could... Oh, I understand hunger, child, the gaunt man interrupted once more, reaching out a long, knobbly hand to pat her denim clad thigh in a fashion she found all too friendly. They had carried yet another smell, something that had been there all along, unnoticed, just another ingredient in the horrible odor permeating the car's interior. Now she could make it out as it wafted up from his pallid, spongy flesh. A metallic, coppery smell with a tang on its own. Blood. The tires crunched on gravel as he pulled the big car onto the shoulder. Looking about, Abby saw nothing but the trees and the dark, empty road. Why are we... I think this is the perfect place to discuss the nature of hunger, child, he said, twisting toward her in his seat, and for the first time, his face held expression. Glee. I hunger for you. He lunged across the car, preternaturally fast, his hands coming for her, only to be caught by her own. His hands were twisted, a thumb pressed against the back of his left fist, flexing the wrist painfully. A knife dropped to the floor. Abigail looked into his suddenly terrified eyes. She leaned forward and lightly sniffed his skin. I should really wash you first, but like you said, this is the perfect place. She cocked her head. You know, if I looked 186, I could get my own driver's license. Then this would be easier. Those things are practically a license to kill in modern age. Tears flowed down his cheeks as her fangs sank into his throat. That was License to Kill. It's in Demonic Vision 2, I believe. My name is Rob Smales, and I write lots of short stories. Everything that's over there on the table right now is an anthology, except one that's a collection of my own work. Demonic Visions is a set of 50 different authors all putting out really short works, so it's kind of like a sampler. People all the way from me, kind of starting out, to Joe McKinney, who is a massively award-winning author. Anybody have any questions? I like to write ghosts. I know this was a vampire story, but my favorite thing to write are ghost stories. So you want to sing a lot of those over there. No. Yes?
Was the guy driving a zombie?
Nope.
Was it dead?
When?
Never mind.
Right after the story, yes.
Okay.
Big time. Anything else? Yes.
Where'd you get the idea for the story?
You know, I have no idea.
Hitchhiking, anything like that? No, anything?
Well, I have a kid, and he's 12 now. I have read stuff. The thing that scares me most is stories that have to do with kids who are in trouble. So yeah, hitchhiking scares the crap out of me. Didn't bother me before, now it bugs me. I like the idea of a child being scared, being taken advantage of, and then having it flipped. So that's what Abby does. Yes.
You write some excellent ghost stories. What is it about the particular aspect of a ghost story that appeals to you, and why do you write those?
The fact that with ghosts there aren't any rules. When I say vampire, you know exactly what a vampire is. If I say werewolf, you know exactly what a werewolf is. If I say zombie, you know exactly what a zombie is. But a ghost can be a sound, a sight, a memory. I have a story where someone's being haunted by a bad smell. Ghost stories can be anything. And I have some that, by the end of them, it's debatable as to whether it's a ghost story or not. I was actually going to read one of those to you, but it's not actually scary. It's actually kind of sweet. And this is, this is for Halloween. Sweet's out. Sweet's on. All done? Thank you very much for your time.
Do you actually believe in those?
Depends on what time of day it is.